welcome back here to Star Flag Media. Today is May the 7th, 2023, and we are wrapping up our week with some quick news and updates, mostly Nintendo related today, as we are going to cover some bit of fun and a little bit more of some sales figures, and as well as Hogwarts um, Legacy, which is out on everything, and we still have a couple of new releases coming out for that game. So let's start off here first with uh, the Nintendo's news. Reggie fils former president of Nintendo of America, and Reggie may no longer be working at Nintendo, but as we all know, he seems to always be and probably will be always be associated with that company with as many years as he put in. He was a prominent figure and head of Nintendo of America for a long time. He was pretty much, the go-to guy and the face of the company. Um, so he still seems to have plenty of connections in that company and to those who work at Nintendo. And he's been having a little bit of fun with that on Twitter recently. As we know, and most of you, if you haven't heard, earlier in the week, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was leaked online, and this led to thousands of people having already downloaded and pirated the copy of the game. Um, some people decided that it would be fun to go on Twitter and post their pirated illegal copies, showing off that they had it downloaded on their Switch. And there was a Twitter user by the name of Human and a Gamer, all together, who took to social media to share screenshots of himself or themselves playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, along with an LOL message attached to it. While they didn't share this tweet directly with Reggie, it seems like somehow Reggie got knowledge of this tweet, and he decided to act upon it and reply to it. So it's pretty fun. If you guys go follow Reggie fils at his Twitter, he put a copy of the original tweet up afterwards because it seems like the user, the person on Twitter, got a little nervous, to say the least, and deleted their tweet and all mentions and pictures of that tweet. So Reggie replied to it and says, "I don't know what you want. What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you." Which we all know is a nice little throwback to the movies, right? Um, it seems like this was just enough to get under the skin of this person. They definitely didn't want the Nintendo ninjas after them, especially lately. We know Nintendo has been going really hard after pirators and pirating sites, and they are not afraid to take an individual to court over having an illegal copy of their game downloaded. They're not afraid to do that, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Nintendo has a complete right to defend their their intellectual property on the internet, and nobody has a right to just download and pirate games that haven't even been released yet. On top of that, so it takes a huge chunk off their revenue, and it makes it harder for them in the future to even share information about these releases. And as we have seen with Nintendo, they've been pretty tight-lipped and only showing off games only a few months out from release because of this. But before, we would have the luxury of knowing about these games for a long time. Well, yeah, so as you know, that tweet got shared, and along with that quote from the movie Taken, Reggie was then letting that Twitter user know, more or less, that people are aware of his piracy activity. Um, Reggie then retweeted that and posted a screenshot of it after the person decided to take his tweet down. Um, it was pretty entertaining. to say the least. Let me know what you guys think of Reggie Fils-Aimé kind of still holding that Nintendo flag and, kind of flexing his muscle a little bit, even though he's no longer at the company. I thought it was pretty funny. The next news here involving Nintendo is actually in a way of kind of ties in a little bit with that piracy issue. Nintendo has recently gone after GitHub for piracy, claiming that they are allowing people to download tools. And even though this tool is used, a lockpick tool is used to archive your own games, it is definitely circumventing Nintendo's hardware piracy clauses and their own, copyrights. So, uh, seems like a lot of gamers aren't very happy with that, or a lot of pirates at the very least. And so, Nintendo has actually been facing a little bit, not just criticism, but it looks like Nintendo's 2023 releases are seeing a wave of review bombing on Metacritic. And this comes from our friends over at Go Nintendo. It says, unfortunately, it seems nearly every day we see a reminder as to why the internet has not is not such a great place to be. Today's example comes from evidence uh, of a concerted effort to review bomb Nintendo's 2023 releases. As noted by I Love the Game AC on Family Boards, it appears that in recent days, Nintendo's 2023 Switch releases have been hit with a review of extremely low scores from users. This isn't a case of honest opinions or reviews, but instead just waves of ones and zeros. The lineup of games getting bombed right now includes Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot, which just released, Bayonetta Origins, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack, uh, Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Fire Emblem Engage, and Metroid Prime Remastered. Metroid Prime Remastered especially being noteworthy as the game's user score was originally incredibly high, but now with the bombardment of zeros has brought the score down to around 82 for now. Obviously, most would agree that 82 is still a pretty good score, but when the average score was in the high 90s shortly after launch, you can see that it's really been dropping and how far it's fallen. As far as we know, Metacritic hasn't commented on this matter. The review aggregator has been under attack from review bombings for years now, but things seem to have grown much worse in recent months. And with Metacritic recently sharing a statement that we're working on new tools to combat these bombings. Um, One of the users' comments over there I found to be pretty interesting, and I tend to agree with it. Tendonen posted, it's probably the GitHub business from a few days ago. Regardless, it's definitely a concerted attack from some angry special interest group of terminally ill, terminally online people. Metacritic is terribly designed for user scores on games, even compared to other sites, because its codified game review averages around 60 to 70 rather than 50s, and there's more room for negative vote brigading to have an impact, unless there's some different formula behind the scenes. Well, you could always argue that the fanboys go on there and pump up the score at the very beginning anyway to give it an overall high grade for these type of games. But in reality, when you look at a game like Metroid Prime Remastered, across the board, it was viewed incredibly positive. So this isn't something where it's like, oh well, it's just balancing it out. In reality, reviewers and gamers alike can agree that this is probably one of the most shining examples of how to make a remake, or just remastering a classic game already that was already great, and bringing it over and just continuing that route of greatness. So it's a little sad to see that just because a company decides to protect their intellectual properties, that now, the trolls have gone out and decided to review bomb uh, their games. Uh, this happens a lot when companies also decide to become political, or get their personal views involved, when they're just trying to provide a product to the masses. So I'm not sure how if Nintendo is going to. I don't know if the damage is going to be that great with especially Metroid Prime, because that game's already been out, and I feel like its success speaks for itself at this point, even if the review bombs are coming in. They should probably watch out for what happens with Zelda in the next few weeks to see if this trend continues and if Metacritic is going to issue out some kind of a statement regarding that. The next bit we're going to be talking to here is the top 10 Switch games by revenue in quarter one of 2023, revealed for both the United Kingdom and the United States. Again, coming over from Go Nintendo and Games Industries. So, as we know, sales charts have used to be a really contentious thing here in the U.S. Back in the day. It was something that especially fanboys would use to go back and forth with who had the better console and who had the better games. But NPD kind of squashed, revealing full raw numbers and just kind of giving us a top 10. So this is kind of on the same base here, but now it's revenue oriented. So this is a little bit different because we can see exactly who's been making what kind of money, even if it's not the top selling game. The charts share a handful of the same games between regions, but there is some clear differences between the US and UK as well. And this is just for quarter one of 2023 for the United Kingdom and the USA. So let's start with the United Kingdom list first, with number 10 being Splatoon 3, number 9 being Animal Crossing New Horizons, number 8 being Nintendo Switch Sports, 7 being FIFA 23, the Legacy Edition, mind you. Still in the top, not only top 10, it's top 7, right? Number 6 is Mario Kart 8. Number 5, Minecraft. Number 4, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Number 3, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Number 2, Metroid Prime Remastered. And the number 1 revenue Switch game in the United Kingdom for quarter one of 2023 is Fortnite. Still a huge game. So that brings us over to our US list, with number 10 being Mario Party Superstars. Number 9 being Animal Crossing New Horizons as well. The game is still pumping money for Nintendo. Number 8 being Octopath Traveler 2. Number 7, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Still making money. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Probably with Tears of the Kingdom coming up, a lot of gamers that didn't already have the game probably pick this game up again, or to see what was going on with the first one. Number 5, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Number 4, Fire Emblem Engage. Number 3, Fortnite. Number 2, Mario Kart 8. And number 1 being Metroid Prime Remastered as the top revenue Switch game for quarter one of 2023. Couple of standouts for me there still is Mario Kart 8 being as high as it is in both regions. This is the reason we don't get Mario Kart 9. They just, I mean, we are getting these deluxe wave courses and all that cool stuff, and I guess in reality that would be what Mario Kart 9 would be, right? New tracks, new courses, new players. So I'm not totally mad about that, but it just goes to show you just how strong Mario Kart 8 has been. That, guys, that's a Wii U game. All right, that's a game that came out for a console that was released in 2012, and it's still just going strong. It's as big as GTA, right, for Rockstar. And it's kind of cool to see that Fire Emblem actually made the cut in the United States as well. I wasn't expecting to see that as a revenue generator, but hopefully that'll show Nintendo like, hey, there's something here with that franchise, and keep that going. And lastly, we are sharing some news here for Hogwarts Legacy's Switch release, as Warner Brothers Discovery executive goes on record and saying that they have high hopes for this game. This comes from VGC. It says Hogwarts Legacy has been an incredible hit for Warner Brothers, reaching 15 plus million units sold and over $1 billion in revenue. That success is set to continue with the PS4 and Xbox One versions that just launched, and the Switch version is coming out this summer. So PS4 and Xbox One just got their version of the game, so that's going to be another couple million units added right there. While there's no doubt that PS4 and Xbox One is going to sell, Warner Brothers also expects big things from their Switch release as well. That release comes on July 25th, 2023, and Warner Brothers Discovery executive JB Perrette can't wait to see how it goes. Uh, According to Perrette, Warner Discovery has significantly higher hopes for the Switch release. As reported by VGC, this especially includes the Japanese release where the Switch reigns supreme. At this point, we have not seen a single piece of media from the Switch version of Hogwarts Legacy. Hopefully, we get a look at this version soon since it's right around the corner. But with Warner Discoveries having high hopes, hopefully it means the Switch fans can look forward to a solid port. So, are we going to get a version of this game that looks on par with what's out on PS4 and Xbox One? I think it'll be around that. People, if Warner Brothers really is expecting this game to sell really high, especially in Japan, I don't know what the Harry Potter fan base is out there. But if they have high hopes for this, especially for a Switch release, hopefully it's a very decent port. And not only that, but also wondering, why this would be the last version that is coming out. I mean, at that point, I feel that it could be cannibalizing some of their sales at this point, with even the PS4 and Xbox One fan base getting it. And the only people left that would probably get this version of the game is people who only own a Switch and people who already have their Hogwarts Legacy games. They love it that much that they decided, I want a portable copy as well so they can take with them. And if it's a solid port, then, I can see the game selling a couple million units on the Switch. And there are still a lot of gamers out there who the Switch is their only console. And so, they will more than likely pick this up if they're Harry Potter fans. And if there are younger audiences who only own a Switch, you can guarantee that they've been asking their parents for this game. That's all the news for this week, folks. Hopefully, you've had a wonderful week, and let me know what your comments are as far as Reggie Fils-Aime's Twitter back and forth, I guess. What do you think of Nintendo's revenue generating games and also the review bombs? Do you agree with them? Do you think Nintendo deserves it, or do you think just people in general just need to calm down a bit? And finally, will you be picking up Hogwarts Legacy for Switch? Let me know in the comments. As always, you can join me live on twitch.tv/starflagmedia, and you can interact with me. Give me a follow. You can also please subscribe here. It helps the channel immensely. Give us a like if you like the videos. And if you don't, feel free to let us know in the comments what we can do to do things better. Twitter.com/starflagmedia. Follow us there. You can always find links and updates to our stories as well. As always, we appreciate your feedback, and thank you for coming.